All right, we're going to rehearse the passing of the colors real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, the 38th Infantry Division change of command ceremony will begin momentarily. We ask at this time that you turn off or silence all communication devices and place them on airplane mode. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the 38th Infantry Division change of command ceremony between Major General Timothy N. Tombleson, outgoing Commanding General, and Brigadier General Daniel A. Degelow, incoming Commanding General. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Matt Shetmer, the Master of Ceremonies for today's change of command ceremony. Please rise for the arrival of the official party, the presentation of the colors, and honors to our nation. As a reminder, when rendering honors to our nation during the national anthem, only uniformed soldiers in formation salute. Uniformed soldiers not in formation, retirees, and our civilian guests do not salute. Please remain standing for the invocation by the 38th Infantry Division Chaplain, Chaplain Curtis Christensen.
Please feel free to join me as I pray and bow our heads. Father, we pause now to honor you and invite your Spirit's presence to bless this change of command ceremony. I thank and call upon you according to the promise of Psalm 18:2. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. Lord, may we honor you in each thing that's said and done under your delegated authority today. We ask this in the name of my Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. It is my honor to introduce the official party. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Major General R. Dale Lyles, Adjutant General for the Indiana National Guard and today's presiding official. Major General Timothy N. Tombleson, outgoing 38th Infantry Division Commanding General. Brigadier General Daniel A. Degelow, incoming 38th Infantry Division Commanding General. Lieutenant Colonel Curtis Christensen, Chaplain, 38th Infantry Division. Please join me in welcoming our official party. At this time, I will introduce family members here today. Present with Major General Tombleson are his wife Deidre, his daughter Katie, and son Josh. Present today with Brigadier General Degelow is his wife Lisa and their children Delaney, Logan, and Dixie. Also joining us today are other distinguished guests. We will take a moment to recognize them. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. They are Major General Jeffrey Broadwater, Deputy Commanding General, 5th Corps. Major General Hal Lamberton, Adjutant General, Kentucky. Major General Retired Dan Colglazier. Major General Retired Joseph Culver. Major General Retired Timothy Wright. Major General Retired Timothy Winslow. Brigadier General Justin Mann, Director of the Joint Staff, Indiana. Brigadier General Patrick Thibodeau, Assistant Adjutant General, Indiana, Southern European Task Force, Africa Deputy Commanding General, North. Brigadier General Rodney Boyd, Assistant Adjutant General, Illinois. Brigadier General Brian Wurtzler, Assistant Adjutant General, Kentucky. Brigadier General Retired Scott Campbell. Brigadier General Retired Courtney Carr. Brigadier General Retired Brian Copes. Brigadier General Retired Charles Jones. Brigadier General Retired Stephen King. Brigadier General Retired Michael Osborne. Chief Warrant Officer 5 Ronald Baird, Command Chief Warrant Officer, Indiana. Chief Warrant Officer 5 Ricky Skelton, Command Chief Warrant Officer, Kentucky. Command Sergeant Major Dale Shetler, Command Senior Enlisted Advisor, Indiana. Command Sergeant Major Philip Barber, Command Senior Enlisted Advisor, Illinois. Command Sergeant Major Jesse Withers, Command Senior Enlisted Advisor, Kentucky. Command Sergeant Major Retired James Brown. Command Sergeant Major Retired Paul Foster, and Sergeant Major Retired John Watson. Thank you all for being here today. The subordinate command teams and division staff participating in today's ceremony are 33rd Infantry Brigade Combat Team, Illinois Army National Guard, Colonel Seth Heibel and Command Sergeant Major Michael Kelly. 37th Infantry Brigade Combat Team, Ohio Army National Guard, Colonel Michael Flaherty and Command Sergeant Major Michael Burris, and their colors are forward deployed in support of Operation Inherent Resolve. Today, the 37th IBCT is represented by Colonel Charles Buchanan and Command Sergeant Major John Botts, and is displaying the Army field flag in place of the brigade colors. 76th Infantry Brigade Combat Team, Indiana Army National Guard. Colonel Christopher Mavis and Command Sergeant Major Joshua Brown and their colors are forward deployed in support of Operation Joint Guardian. Today, the 76th IBCT is represented by Colonel Hubert Davidson and Command Sergeant Major Joshua Butler, and is displaying the Army field flag in place of the brigade colors. 38th Division Artillery, Kentucky Army National Guard, Colonel Sean Jones and Command Sergeant Major David Miller. 219th Engineer Brigade, Indiana Army National Guard, Colonel Sean Begley. Here today on behalf of Colonel Begley is Lieutenant Colonel John Rourke and Command Sergeant Major Benjamin Joy. 149th Maneuver Enhancement Brigade, Kentucky Army National Guard, Colonel James B. Richmond. Here today on behalf of Colonel Richmond is Deputy Commander Lieutenant Colonel Michael Lawson and Command Sergeant Major Aaron Lester. 38th Sustainment Brigade, Indiana Army National Guard, Colonel Kathleen Eakin and Command Sergeant Major Elizabeth Daniels. 77th Theater Aviation Brigade, Arkansas Army National Guard, Lieutenant Colonel Promotable Stephen Brack and Command Sergeant Major Johnny Brown. 38th Combat Aviation Brigade, Indiana Army National Guard, Colonel Matthew Handy and Command Sergeant Major Timothy McDaniel. Here today on behalf of Command Sergeant Major McDaniel is Sergeant Major Amanda Wilmer. 38th Division HHB, Indiana Army National Guard, Lieutenant Colonel Alfred Seguid and Command Sergeant Major Michelle Quarles. 38th Division Staff, led by today's Commander of Troops, Colonel Sean Eakin, Division Chief of Staff. G1, Major Lindsey Bowling. G2, Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Kirkpatrick. Deputy G3, Lieutenant Colonel Nick Palmer. G4, Lieutenant Colonel Harmony Foster. G6, Lieutenant Colonel Patrick Cavanaugh. Division Command Sergeant Major, Sergeant Major Jeff Schuster. On behalf of the officers, non-commissioned officers, and enlisted soldiers of the 38th Infantry Division, I extend a heartfelt welcome to the families and special guests. You are truly a part of our military family. Your support and perseverance during our training exercises and deployments come at great sacrifice, but allow us to fulfill our missions of defending our homeland and helping our fellow citizens recover from disasters of many kinds. Thank you very much for your sacrifices over the years. Major General Timothy N. Tombleson was selected as the 38th Infantry Division Commanding General effective 3 December 2020. As the Commanding General, he is responsible for the continued development of the division into a cohesive, combat-ready unit capable of planning, coordinating, and executing timely and effective plans and orders, while also managing personnel for peacetime and wartime missions for the state of Indiana and the United States. Prior to his current duty assignment, he served as the Deputy Commanding General Operations of the 38th Infantry Division. Career highlights include service as the Assistant Adjutant General of Indiana, with additional duty as the Mobilization Force Generation Installation Officer in charge, Camp Atterbury. Major General Tombleson has also completed assignments as the Chief of Staff and J357 Director of Operations for the Indiana National Guard. His experience at the division level includes tours as both the 38th Infantry Division Chief of Staff and G3 Operations Officer. His field grade command assignments are Commander of 219th Battlefield Surveillance Brigade and Commander 1st Battalion, 152nd Infantry Regiment. Major General Tombleson deployed for training to the Combat Maneuver Center, Hohenfels, Germany in 2001, and Ulchi-Focus Lens, Camp Long, Korea in 2007. He deployed and supported the Global War on Terror to Iraq in 2003 as Battalion Executive Officer, 1st Battalion, 152nd Infantry Regiment, to Afghanistan in 2009 as Deputy Commander, Task Force Cyclone, and most recently to Kuwait and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in 2019 as Deputy Commanding General of Operations, Task Force Spartan. Major General Tombleson earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Marketing from Indiana State University and a Master of Strategic Studies from the U.S. Army War College. His military institutional training includes Infantry Officer Basic Course, Armor Officer Advanced Course, Combined Arms Staff and Services School, and Command and General Staff Officer College. Major General Tombleson's awards include Bronze Star Medal with 1 Bronze Oak Leaf Cluster, Meritorious Service Medal with 3 Bronze Oak Leaf Clusters, Army Commendation Medal with 1 Bronze Oak Leaf Cluster, Army Achievement Medal with 3 Bronze Oak Leaf Clusters, Meritorious Unit Citation, Armed Forces Reserve Component Achievement Medal with 1 Silver Oak Leaf Cluster and 4 Bronze Oak Leaf Clusters, National Defense Service Medal with 1 Service Star, Afghanistan Campaign Medal with 2 Service Stars, Iraq Campaign Medal with 2 Service Stars, Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, Armed Forces Reserve Medal with Gold Hourglass, Armed Forces Reserve Medal with M Device, Army Service Ribbon, Overseas Service Ribbon with numeral 2, North Atlantic Treaty Organization Medal, Indiana Distinguished Service Medal with 2 Bronze Oak Leaf Clusters, Indiana Long Service Medal with 30-year disc, among others. Major General Tombleson resides in Martinsville, Indiana with his wife Deidre. They have 2 children, Josh and Katie. Josh is currently attending West Point, class of 2023, branching infantry. Katie is currently pursuing a nursing degree at the University of Southern Indiana. Brigadier General Daniel A. Degelow was selected as Deputy Commanding General Sustainment of the 38th Infantry Division effective 29 November 2021. As the Deputy Commanding General Sustainment, Brigadier General Degelow assists the Commanding General in building readiness across the division by focusing on personnel and logistics functions. Prior to his current duty assignment, he has served as the Assistant Adjutant General of Indiana. Career highlights include service as the Aviation Operations Officer, Division Headquarters and Headquarters Battalion, 38th Infantry Division, Executive Officer, Headquarters and Headquarters Company, 38th Combat Aviation Brigade, Aviation and Airspace Management Officer, TAC Command Post, 38th Infantry Division, Liaison Officer, 38th Combat Aviation Brigade, and Branch Chief, Joint Forces Headquarters, Indiana. His field grade commands include Rear Detachment Commander, 38th Infantry Division, Indianapolis, Indiana, Commander, 38th Combat Aviation Brigade, Shelbyville, Indiana, Commander, 238th General Support Aviation Battalion, Shelbyville, Indiana. Brigadier General Degelow deployed as Aviation Task Force Liaison Officer to 238th General Support Aviation Battalion, 38th Infantry Division at USR CENT, Camp Arif Jan, Kuwait in 2008 and 2009. Brigadier General Degelow earned a bachelor's degree through Purdue University for Industrial Technology. He has also received his Master's of Strategic Studies from the U.S. Army War College. His military institutional training includes Armor, Aviation, and Medical Service Corps Officer Basic Courses, Aviation Officer Advanced Course, Combined Arms and Services Staff School, Combined and General Staff Officer Course, Dual Status Commanders Course, NORTHCOM, Joint Task Force Commanders Course, NORTHCOM, and the Army Senior Leader Development Seminar, SLDS. Brigadier General Degelow's awards include Meritorious Service Medal with 2 bronze oak leaf clusters, Iraq Campaign Medal with 1 campaign star, Indiana Long Service Medal with 25-year disc, and Senior Army Aviator Badge, among others. Brigadier General Degelow resides in Gallatin, Tennessee with his wife Lisa. Their children Delaney, Logan, and Dixie reside in the Middle Tennessee area. Delaney is a high school ministry associate for New Vision Baptist Church in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Logan is a technician for Beretta USA in Gallatin, Tennessee. Logan's wife, Dr. Abigail Degelow, is an advanced practice provider. Dixie is a mental health therapist for the Tennessee Mental Health Cooperative in Gallatin, Tennessee, and Dixie's husband, Valen Gibbs, is a plumbing apprentice. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to these distinguished careers and the 2 outstanding officers. Before a unit changes leadership, it is a military custom to honor the special role that the commander's spouse and family play during a military command and career. Often, the same things that we ask of soldiers, patience, sacrifice, courage, fortitude, we must ask of their families. At this time, a bouquet of red roses is presented to Miss Deidre Tombleson on behalf of the soldiers of the 38th Infantry Division. Red is the color of heart and reflects the support she has shown to the 38th Infantry Division for 2 years. The bouquet of roses are in full bloom, symbolizing the beauty and fulfillment of their time with us. Again, thank you, ma'am, for your hard work, dedication, and support of the 38th Infantry Division and the state of Indiana. To Miss Lisa Degelow, we present a bouquet of yellow roses to welcome you to the family of the 38th Infantry Division. Yellow is a sign of welcome and new beginnings. Brigadier General and Mrs. Degelow, it is our hope that this will be a satisfying chapter in your lives. We look forward to the many memorable experiences that our organization hopes to share with you. We welcome you to the Cyclone family. The history of the 38th Infantry Division is long and distinguished. Constituted in July 1917, the 38th Division organized at Camp Shelby, Mississippi on 25 August 1917 as the 13th National Guard Division. It was comprised of National Guard units from the states of Indiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia. In April 1917, while training at Camp Shelby, the division's area of operations was hit by a tornado, resulting in the destruction of tents and structures and the death of a soldier, Private Vaughn D. Beekman of Marion, Indiana. The event earned the division the moniker Cyclone Division, which remains today. The Cyclone nickname is memorialized on the current division shoulder sleeve insignia, or unit patch, by the easily recognizable CY. The Cyclone Division deployed to Europe late in 1918 in support of the Allied effort in World War I. Division soldiers reinforced the decisively engaged Allied forces, specifically in the last major Allied offensive in the Meuse-Argonne River Valley of France. The Allied successes in the offensive was a key factor in the German surrender less than a month later on 11 November 1918. The 38th Division was again called to federal duty on 17 January 1941 to begin training for possible service in World War II. On 1 March 1942, the division was reorganized and redesignated as the 38th Infantry Division. The division was assigned the responsibility for defense of Omaha and later inserted into the Pacific Theater strategy. The Cyclone Division would fight and win at New Guinea and Layette Island, and then on Luzon Island, where they defeated an entrenched enemy in the fierce battles of Zigzag Pass, Corregidor Island, Caballo Island, and the Bataan Peninsula. The division fight in the liberation of the Philippine Islands from Japanese control earned the division motto, Avengers of Bataan. Numerous reorganizations and redesignations occurred to the Cyclone Division between the end of World War II and the onset of the global war on terror. Most included additions and deletions of other regional National Guard units, which would be a sign of things to come. During this time, division soldiers served with distinction during the wars in Korea and Vietnam, as well as Operations Desert Shield and Storm. With the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2001, an era of persistent conflict began. Since the onset of the global war on terror and Operations Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom, the 38th Infantry Division and subordinate elements deployed in support of combat operations abroad. In 2009 and 2010, the division headquarters deployed to Afghanistan as the command and control element of Task Force Cyclone, conducting counterinsurgency operations in Regional Command East. Later, the division was tasked with establishing an area support group over the Kabul-based cluster. Most recently, the division headquarters deployed in support of Operation Spartan Shield, where they served at the forefront of U.S. Central Command's response to regional aggression. They facilitated theater security cooperation activities such as key leader engagements, joint exercise oversight, humanitarian assistance, and disaster response planning. In addition to support of combat operations, the division served in both peacekeeping and security stability operations, both at home and abroad. These include Operation Joint Forge in Bosnia, Operation Joint Guardian in Kosovo, and Operation Noble Eagle in the United States. As part of the dual role of the National Guard, the 38th Division participated in numerous missions in support of domestic operations. Major tasks include serving at the 1996 Centennial Olympics in Atlanta, response to Hurricane Katrina in Mississippi in 2005, and Hurricane Irma in Florida in 2017, helping coordinate rescue and humanitarian relief efforts. 2020 and 2021 were some of the most challenging yet for the Cyclones. Hit with dual problems of a worldwide pandemic and civil unrest, the division activated more than 2,500 soldiers from across the state to support critical operations and civil authorities. Soldiers worked at food banks, prisons, hospitals, long-term care facilities, and facilitated logistical coordination and distribution of the coronavirus vaccine. 2020 also saw the implementation of the Army National Guard Division Alignment Strategy. Under this regional alignment, Indiana again partners with units from Ohio, Illinois, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Michigan as one of 8 Army National Guard divisions. The alignment provides the total Army with National Guard divisions organized to conduct multi-domain, large-scale combat operations. Additionally, this partnership provides regionally aligned units capable of responding to large-scale natural disasters or other domestic operations. The 38th Infantry Division continues to model the National Guard motto, always ready, always there. Ladies and gentlemen, Major General Lyles, today's presiding official, will now oversee the change of command and ceremonial passing of the colors between Major General Tombleson and Brigadier General Degelow. The change of command ceremony is a military tradition that is rich with symbolism and heritage dating back to medieval times. Soldiers often carried staffs or standards into battle that identified them as a unit. Throughout military history, unit colors have marked the position of the commander on the battlefield and served as a rallying point. While attacking or rallying on the battlefield, soldiers would follow the standard or guide on of their leader, most often at the forward edge of the battle. In more recent times, the colors represent not only the heritage and history of the unit, but also the unity and loyalty of its soldiers. The colors are the commander's symbol of authority, representing his responsibilities to the organization. Wherever the commander is, there are also the colors. The passing of the unit colors represent the transfer of authority and responsibility for the unit from one commander to another. The division command sergeant major is the keeper of the colors. As the senior enlisted soldier in the division, he is the spokesperson for both the loyalty and concerns of the soldiers and the principal advisor to the commander. The passing of the colors from Command Sergeant Major Schuster to Major General Tombleson signifies his last act of allegiance to the commander. The passing of the colors from Major General Tombleson to Major General Lyles signifies that the unit is never without officer leadership as command is transferred. The passing of the colors from Major General Lyles to Brigadier General Degelow signifies the passing of his trust in the responsibility for the unit and its soldiers. Under the provisions of Army Regulation 600-20, Brigadier General Daniel A. Degelow assumes command of the 38th Infantry Division effective 9 January 2023. The passing of the colors from Brigadier General Degelow to Command Sergeant Major Schuster signifies the trust and loyalty they will share and begins the allegiance between the two leaders of the command. The Division Command Sergeant Major, as the keeper of the colors, returns them back to the color bearer's harness. Ladies and gentlemen, Major General R. Dale Lyles, the Adjutant General for the Indiana National Guard.
Thank you. It is my distinct honor and privilege to preside over the change of command of today's 38th Infantry Division. And I am overwhelmed with the combat power that is displayed on here today and all the things that this division has done in the history and all that it is about to do. And so before I get started today, I first and foremost want to welcome the families here today. We've certainly realized all of the sacrifices that you have endured and all the sacrifices that you are getting ready to make. As I continue to serve in this organization, it's remarkable what our families have done for us over the last 30 years as we continue to work to protect our country from those that seek to do us harm. So God bless you, Deidre, and God bless your family and all that you guys are about to do with the 5th Corps and Tim's continued work for his nation and his country. And for the Degelow family, appreciate you guys coming all the way up here from Tennessee. I'm glad you came last night because you probably would have been a little late today if you'd have tried to endure the snowstorm this morning. But thank you for your continued service and all the sacrifices that you make for Dan and his team. And so I would also like to recognize the distinguished guests today. We mentioned them by name, but I can tell you there is a legacy of men and women that are sitting in this audience today that can take credit for who we are today, that can take credit for the readiness of this division and the readiness of the Indiana National Guard. Your legacy is who we are today. And we are a much better force and a much more prepared force today because of all the hard work that you did while you served in the National Guard. And then I'd also like to recognize our distinguished visitors from the division-aligned units. I guess we're not using aligned for training anymore. It's division alignment. And so thank you for making the trek up here today. It goes a long ways with showing just how serious this division and our aligned states are taking this alignment. And I appreciate you being here. General Broadwater, appreciate you being here on behalf of 5th Corps as well. And so what I would like to say is, first and foremost, Dan Degelow, and you guys switched seats on me. Dan Degelow and Tim Tomlinson represent, to me, the epitome of soldiers. And we had our Green Tab conference yesterday at Camp Atterbury, and I had some questions about what does it take to become a successful leader in the National Guard and to potentially be a general officer. And I think what you need to do, I told them what they needed to do is to pursue the hard jobs, to pursue the key development assignments that are hard in the National Guard, and there was some question about what that might be. And all they need to do is pick up the resume of both these fine officers and read what they have done over the course of their careers, and they will see what it takes to be successful. There is no shortage of what they have done that's preserved our democracy and our freedom, and your resumes are a testament of just how great you are and how great leaders that you guys are. And so, what does this change of command mean to me? And what does it mean to the state of Indiana and to our nation? Well, first and foremost, I want to talk a little bit about General Tomlinson and his leadership. General Tomlinson has held every rank in the National Guard from infantry platoon leader all the way up to division commander. And I met Tim Tomlinson, first became acquainted with him on the heels of his deployment to Operation Iraqi Freedom, one of the first National Guard infantry battalions to deploy in combat for that mission. When he returned from that mission, he was named the battalion commander. And what he inherited was an infantry battalion that was on the heels of a very trying mobilization. And he was given a battalion that had been rendered as C4 because of that mobilization. And he took that battalion, first to the 152nd in Jasper, and took it from a C4, and within a matter of a year, had it ready to redeploy for combat. He rebuilt that battalion single-handedly while the brigade was deployed forward. He built that battalion. And it was remarkable what he did for that battalion in that short tenure, and I'll always remember that. His hand has been on the improved readiness of the Indiana National Guard his entire tenure here. And for Tim, I'll always remember that, and you'll always be a model of what I'll try to do to make this Guard better. Also under his steady leadership, it was mentioned that the division deployed over 2,500 soldiers during the pandemic. And I can tell you this, when the governor asked me to help the Department of Health put together a task force to respond to the pandemic, within the matter of 48 hours, we had 500 troops from the 38th Division working in food banks at a time when our nation did not know what the pandemic was going to deliver. It was also at a time where some of the members in our state and around our nation had lost confidence in our ability to sustain ourselves because the supply chains had been stopped, the food shortages were there, and our soldiers arrived at the food banks just in time to restore a deep sense of confidence in Hoosiers and help Hoosiers along the ways. That was followed by over 1,000 guardsmen from the division that were then deployed into long-term care facilities and around the state to provide the vaccine and to provide help towards the pandemic that certainly restored a great sense of confidence in what we were doing. This was all on the heels of Tim's deployment to Kuwait, and the division deployed to Kuwait for OSS and distinguished itself remarkably there as well. That was during a time when Iran was firing missiles into adjacent neighbors, and the 38th was there, strong, preserving our democracy and ensuring our freedom abroad. Today, the division has multiple units deployed forward. The Ohio Brigade is deployed, the Indiana Brigade is deployed, the 519th Combat Service Support Battalion is deployed forward, the 163rd Field Artillery Battalion is deployed forward, and the Cav Squadron from New Albany is deployed forward. That's what this division is doing today to preserve our democracy. There is no shortage of adversaries out there right now that do not understand that the 38th Infantry Division and the units aligned underneath the 38th Infantry Division stand strong to defend our freedom and our very democracy. And Tim, it's because of your profound leadership that these units are deployed forward. And I just came back from Kosovo and Qatar, and they are doing remarkable work because of your leadership and your steadfast hand and oversight over what they are doing. For Dan Degelow, Dan, I've served with you as well for the past 20 years. You too, sir, are a remarkable leader. Your leadership as the DCGS during the recent warfighter, as well as the entire leadership of the staff and the members of this command, caused the 1st Army Commander to call me and tell me that this division did a remarkable job during the warfighter, that you set the conditions for what a warfighter should look like. Both you and Tim are deserved a lot of credit for the leadership that you did during that warfighter, and this division as ready as today as it has ever been. Not to mention, we just finished the division warfighter, and now we're headed into another division warfighter, and CPX-2 starts next month. So, sir, welcome to the fight. I know you have the right leadership skills, the right testament, the right background to continue to build on the gains that Tim Tomlinson has made during his tenure as the division commander here. Congratulations, and look forward to you continue to build upon what he has done. To the men and women of this division has a remarkable history that stems back to World War I, to World War II, and all of the wars that this nation has fought, this division has been a part of. This division represents what is great about America. The men and women that serve in this division represent the heart and the soul of America. You put this uniform on for one reason, and that is to stand between good and evil. And you are what indeed stands against tyranny. You stand against communism. You stand against totalitarianism. You stand against the dictators that seek to invade sovereign nations. And there are very few that are signing up to do that today. And so I am extremely proud to be your Adjutant General and to serve with each and every one of you great Americans who have taken an oath to defend this country against enemies, foreign and domestic, that seek to unseat who we are and to take this country over. This country's prosperity and freedom is at your hand. And it is indeed my pleasure to serve with each and every one of you. Tim, good luck to you in your future endeavors in 5th Corps. Dan, good luck to you, and I look forward to serving you. God bless you, and God bless the men of this division, the men and women of this division.
Ladies and gentlemen, Major General Timothy N. Tomlinson, outgoing 38th Infantry Division Commanding General.
Good morning. We'll try that again. Good morning. Hey, there are so many generals here today that I can't personally recognize you all, but for your friendship, I am so thankful. There are some I do need to recognize, the tags of the divisional states. My battle buddy Hal Lamberton, sitting here in the front row, representing Illinois, General Boyd, and of course Ranger Lyles, who just came off podium. John Harris from Ohio had to cancel because his flight canceled this morning, so I don't think he made it. And then I have not seen Lonnie Culver, and I feel like I would recognize his white beard in the crowd if he were here, but I think he may have got weathered out as the previous commander that was going to be here. Also, at least 3, I guess 4 prior division command sergeant majors, Brown, Watson, Shetler, and Shelton. Thank you for coming back to the CY and coming home. It's great to have you here. And I want to personally thank the 38th Infantry Division Command Sergeant Major Jeff Schuster, who's standing out there in formation as we speak. There are 2 things that make the United States Army the best in the world. The first is the professionalism of our NCO Corps, and the second is our ability to extend operational reach through logistics. But Jeff Schuster is what makes the professionalism of the 38th Infantry Division's NCO Corps happen, and really what drives this unit. So thank you, Sergeant Major. We have a Deputy BG Corey Lusk, who is not here today. Corey is in Hawaii, of all places, on a mission for General Dagalo to work on the future of this, but my gratitude goes to Corey. And so Sean Eakin is standing in as commander of troops there. And my gratitude goes to you, Sean, for standing out there by yourself. But you're doing great. Okay, and then finally the 38th Division Band, the most requested unit in the 38th Division, the Division Band, and I thank them. Hey, my family is here today. My lovely wife, Deidre, who is what really holds my squad together. Deidre enables me to do this. She enables both our children to succeed in their endeavors, and I'm so happy that Deidre, Josh, and Katie are with us today. I haven't done this since I left Brigade Command, but I have a lot of titles and call signs that are very cool. Predator 6, Cyclone 6-3, Cyclone 3, Stalker 6. I've been called Lieutenant. I've been called Private, Captain, Colonel. The favorite thing that I'm called is Honey and Dad. And so I'm thankful that Deidre, Josh, and Katie are with us today. While I'm on thanks, I want to thank the good Lord for giving us all the capacity that stand here to serve this great nation and the blessings he bestows upon us. So the MC a while ago talked about the colors and how they follow us into battle. Well, in reality, usually the colors get posted outside the headquarters and we don't take those into battle since the Napoleonic tactics of the Civil War. But what we do take into battle are the unit patches on our sleeves. And we wear those unit patches in the fight. We have been wearing those unit patches in America's long war for the last 20 years. So as I depart the 38th Division for the last time, because there's no slots for me to come back to, I just want to thank all of those of you who have been part of the tribe, the circle of comfort and control, the brotherhood, the work ethic, the history of this great division. So I'll always wear the CY on this side through the remainder of my career, and look forward to telling that story in my future endeavors at 5th Corps. There's I'm not sure if it's a poem or exactly how to phrase it, but there's a piece of work by Theodore Roosevelt called The Critic. And if you would, I'm going to read a small piece of that and talk about how the 38th Infantry Division is in the arena. It is not the critic, but the man in the arena who actually strives to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms and great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at his best is known in the end great triumph, and if he fails, does so while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with the timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. So the 38th has been in the arena since its inception over 100 years ago. In the First World War with the artillery, in the Second World War in the Philippines, and I would venture to say that on day 4 of Zigzag Pass, this unit may have thought it was going to taste defeat. But by day 14, that was not the case. The 38th has been in the arena with the Rangers in Vietnam, and we're in the arena today. The 33rd BCT trained Ukrainian soldiers just 18 months ago and several months prior to the war. The 76th and 37th are now deployed in Asia and Europe. The 38th Sustainment Brigade stands ready as an on-call unit to deploy to Europe. Our 149th guarded the border and just returned from our southwest border. Both of our cabs prepare for a warfighter and potential deployment after that, in which they will dominate the air domain of our new doctrine. And the 38th Vardy has been reflagged and will now provide precision long-range fires for the division. So we are now and have always been in the arena. And for that, those of you here today, I extend my personal gratitude and my professional admiration. And I look forward to continued service at 5th Corps, America's deployed corps, serving in Europe. And I thank General Broadwater for representing the command today that is here. It is highly unlikely that we will serve together in that capacity, but not impossible. If we do find ourselves in that position, we will absolutely dominate the enemy in that operation, and they will be a day of reckoning that they did not forecast. But what is most probable is that I will have the joy of watching the very capable, intellectual, and just great soldier. Heck, I'm off script, Dan. Dan Dagalow lead this formation to new places, lead this formation through another warfighter, expand the AFT, expand the core alignment for this great unit. And I'm so proud to serve with Dan and that he has been selected as his predecessor. So one final thing. I hope you guys are ready. I know you practiced. All right, so when I was deployed with the 38th TAC in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, on occasion we would end a battle update brief with the soldier's creed. And I always felt that was a unifying way to understand our jobs and know that we were going to take care of each other. So here we go. I have not seen the rehearsal on this. Here we go. I am an American soldier.
I am a warrior and member of a team. I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values. I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade.
I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough.
I will always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I am an expert and I am a professional. I stand ready to engage, deploy, and destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat. I'm a guardian of freedom and the American way of life.
I am an American soldier. Well done, Cyclones. Cyclone 6, out.
At this time, Major General Lyles will present Major General Tomlinson the Distinguished Service Medal. Attention to orders. To all who see these presents, greetings. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, authorized by Act of Congress July 9, 1918, has awarded the Distinguished Service Medal to Major General Timothy N. Tomlinson, 38th Infantry Division, for exceptionally meritorious service in a duty of great responsibility from 3 December 2020 to 31 December 2022 as the Commanding General for the 38th Infantry Division. Major General Tomlinson directly contributed to the national defense of the United States through strategic leadership, soldier-focused initiatives, and training facilitation to deter state and international adversaries. He served as an exemplary citizen soldier, cultivating a positive environment, improving readiness and capability. His exceptional understanding of domestic support to civilian authorities led to the successful deployment of thousands of soldiers in support of multiple civil disturbance operations, both stateside and nationally. Major General Tombleton's superior contributions, outstanding performance, and unwavering dedication to duty are in keeping with the finest traditions of military service and reflect great credit upon him, the Indiana National Guard, the United States Army, given under my hand in the city of Washington this first day of December 2022, signed General James C. McConville, Chief of Staff of the Army, and Christine E. Wormuth, Secretary of the Army. At this time, on behalf of the soldiers of the Cyclone Division, Command Sergeant Major Schuster will present Major General Tombleton the 2-Star Award for Exceptional Service as the 38th Infantry Division Commander from 3 December 2020 to 8 January 2023. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Brigadier General Daniel Degelo, the 38th Infantry Division, Commanding General.
Well, thank you very much. We have a very distinguished list of visitors here today, so I would just welcome you and thank you so much for your time to the Adjutants General, the General Officers, Chief Warrant Officers, Command Sergeants Major, fellow soldiers, to our family, and to our many friends that are here. You know, I would also like to recognize my Nissan work colleagues. Thank you so much for making the trek up from beautiful Tennessee today. So glad you could make it. And there's another group so very deserving of our recognition, and that is the soldiers that are forward deployed right now. So we thank you for answering the call of our nation, and we appreciate the service and sacrifice of both you and your families. Major General Lyles, thank you for the kind words and for the introduction today. I extend my earnest gratitude for selecting me for the incredible opportunity to be the next 38th Infantry Division Commander. The division team looks forward to the challenges ahead, and you can trust that this Cyclone team is ready to answer the call of state and nation. Sir, I always appreciate your clear guidance and your mentorship. Thank you. Major General Tombleton, thank you for your support and your mentorship. For all to know, he provided a spectacular left seat, right seat division commander orientation for me recently, and certainly gave me, out of my many that I've completed, probably the most memorable warfighter experience that I've ever had the privilege to take part of. So thank you very much for that. Sir, the Cyclone team will continue to uphold the tradition of excellence and the high standards that you have set. And thank you for being our key trainer, our mentor, and for ensuring our division is ready and relevant. We wish you all the best on your next assignment. Godspeed. I'd like to thank all those that made today happen. So our Commander of Troops and my Chief of Staff, Colonel Sean Eakin, thank you so much. To our MC, Lieutenant Colonel Schommer, thank you very much. We appreciate that. We also had a project team working hard behind the scenes for many weeks to make this happen, led by Lieutenant Colonel Harmony Foster, our Division Logistics Officer, G4. Thank you so much for that. Supported by a cast of characters to include Colonel Manner and many others, okay? So for all those unsung folks that made today a reality, I cannot thank you enough for your time. I always like to thank our Officer Career Manager, Angel Loy, for her continued support. of my military career. Kudos to the busiest unit in the Indiana Army National Guard, our band. Thanks for being here. And thanks to Staff Sergeant Burke for singing our national anthem. We greatly appreciate that. So being selected for a division command assignment is truly a humbling moment in my career. Having the good fortune to progress from a private E1 to a division commander is really beyond anything that I could have imagined. So I've proudly worn the Cyclone Division patch for the majority of my 36-plus year military career. And not in any of my scenarios did I imagine standing on this side of a podium after all these change of commands that I've attended. And truly, it's a team effort to achieve this. Along my military journey, I have trained with many superb leaders, many of them seated right here in front of me today. So they're the general officers, the adjutants general that have paved the way before me, and I thank you for that superb example of leadership that you have set for me to emulate. To those leaders that have mentored me, I am so appreciative of your time and your training and your patience. I recognize also the stellar team of officers and warrant officers that I have worked with over the years that have taught me truly too many lessons to count. So what we do is tough, and serving alongside such great people makes this effort so rewarding. I'd also like to honor some great sergeants majors that I have served with over my career. I've been very fortunate at every level that I've commanded to just be surrounded by superb non-commissioned officers. The technical talent, the leadership, and the drive are truly an inspiration. And I must note that our current division command team with Command Sergeant Major Schuster and just a whole lot of superb NCOs just gave me great confidence for our future. So to my peers that have supported me, thank you for your guidance. And also I must recognize those many soldiers that I've had the great privilege to lead throughout my career. Thank you for those lessons and all those numerous missions that you have conducted without fail. So this is a great Cyclone team and just a great time to be a soldier in this Army. Behind every successful soldier is a network of family and friends. To my wife, Lisa, I cannot thank you enough for all you have done. And what a blessing it is to have a soulmate that is so supporting of my military career. You have encouraged me to serve when I thought life was simply too busy. And very importantly, you remind me of the values of humility and kindness, something that we can all have more of. We've shared many great moments like this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why I am standing here today. I love you. Okay. To my children, Delaney, Logan, Dixie, my son-in-law, Valen, my daughter-in-law, Abigail, I cannot thank you enough for your continuous support of my career. You have encouraged me and helped push me forward. Thanks for always being there for me when this Army dad could not always be there for you. So I'm just so grateful, and you kids are my biggest fans, and I love you dearly. Army strong. To my siblings, Jane and John, I can't thank you enough for everybody to know. When I make the trip up here, I frequently spend the evening at your home. Thanks for treating me like family, not like a guest. I just can't thank you enough for that. And my brother John encouraged me to transition from the Army Reserve to the Army National Guard and pursue a career in aviation. Thank you, John. I really appreciate that. I wish my mother and father, Lord rest their souls, could be here to share in this occasion. When a 17-year-old Dan Digelow wanted to join the Army, it was their permission, it was their signatures that allowed me to become that PB1 Digelow. I will share with you, though, that when I got off the bus at my basic training site and the drill sergeants encircled me, there were moments I wondered what you allowed me to do. My dad, an Air Force veteran, strongly advised me which branch of service to join, and I did not heed his advice. So my extreme gratitude goes to my employer, the Nissan Group of Americas, for being so supportive of my military career. They've graciously allowed me to invest the time required to be a citizen soldier. So again, to those that made that travel today, I thank you so much for being here and honoring me with your presence. This is a busy team, and in an organization this large, it is easy to spread yourself too thin, to have too many number one objectives. General George Casey, the Army's 36th Chief of Staff, stated, quote, "Clarity and simplicity are the antidotes to complexity and uncertainty," end quote. And I could not agree more. So I think it's only appropriate to share with you my clear and simple priorities, which are designed to continue to build the readiness of this division. Those are retention, training, equipping, and servant leadership, and I'll unpack those very briefly. So retention, each soldier is a national treasure. The Army worked hard to train you, and we will work even harder to keep you serving. And we'll do this through great training and through schedule predictability and through great talent management. And finally, we will care for our soldiers both on duty and off duty. A key component of keeping soldiers in uniform is carefully crafted training. Soldiers want to do their job. Realistic mission-based training is what we want, what we deserve, and what we will get. So training schedules are predictable, and safety remains a top priority in our training. Regarding equipment, our soldiers have marvelous equipment to train on, and our team is focused on effective maintenance to make the most of every national asset. As custodians of our nation's precious resources, we take care of our equipment because our very lives depend upon it. So things like motor stables, PMCS, new equipment fielding, new equipment training, OIP, Organizational Inspection Program, and so on deserve our attention. And finally, the hallmark of any high-functioning organization is effective, caring leadership. As noted earlier, we are blessed to have a lot of great leaders in the 38th, and we build leaders that demonstrate character, presence, and intellect, and also the competencies of leading others, training self and others, and achieving real results. We know that people set and follow that example that their leaders set. So General George S. Patton said it very clearly, quote, "Always do everything you ask of those you command," end quote. And this requires humility and a servant's mentality. So to the division soldiers, I look forward to working with you, serving you, and supporting you without fail, and to give you strategic vision, clear intent, that caring leadership you deserve, and mentorship. My gratitude is those that wear this uniform. And so my intent is to share those lessons I've learned over my career in this noble profession of arms for our fellow citizen soldiers. And what a blessing it is to be able to serve. So finally, I humble myself before a mighty God. There is no doubt that the Lord's providence paved this way for me today, and this ceremony is yet another blessing. I'm reminded of Philippians 2:3, which states, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, rather, in humility, value others above yourselves." So again, thanks to everybody who made it here today or who tuned in online. I'm so humbled by your gift of time. I remain ever thankful and blessed to lead one of the Army's divisions, and I wish you all safe travels, good health, and the Lord's richest blessings. Army strong.
Please stand for the benediction by Chaplain Christensen.
Lord, I ask that you please grant our request as I bless this command. According to Numbers 6:24, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his face to you and give you his peace. Father, we request this blessing over each one here and over this command in the days ahead. Whatever missions, under whatever authority you delegate to us, we willingly accept, and we serve you with humility for the benefit of this nation and for our families. I ask this in your name, Lord. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join us for the singing of the Army Song and retiring of the colors. Words are on the last page of your program.
Sergeant Major, retire the colors.
Sir, this concludes the ceremony.
Take charge.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our change of command ceremony. Please remain standing for the departure of the official party. Upon dismissal, Brigadier General Degelow invites you to join him at a reception inside the 38th Infantry Division classroom.